Hello there.
In Kong Survivor Instinct, we thought we were getting a game about Abaddon, right? We thought we were getting a game introducing this new Titan, and it did. But after Kong's fight with Abaddon in this game, Abaddon just kind of disappears. But what we surprisingly got in this game was a ton of new information about Tiamat. It seems as if Legendary could potentially have plans for this Titan, or maybe they saw the reception to Tiamat in Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire and they said, hey, let's bring this Titan back. So in this video, we are going to discuss the potential for Tiamat's revenge, her supposed child, and whether or not she's actually dead, based on a whole bunch of new stuff that we have that just intensifies the lore for the Monsterverse. So we're going to get into it in this video. If you guys enjoy my Monsterverse content, then consider subscribing. I have a whole bunch of Monsterverse stuff on my channel, from leaks to theories to just general discussions about what's going on in the Monsterverse. So if you're new, consider subscribing, and let's get into it.
The Atomic Fair.
Alright guys, so this is what's going on right now, okay? Tiamat did appear in Kong Survivor Instinct, and there was actually a fight with Kong. But what we find out in this game is that Tiamat has a child named Lahamu. I'm not sure, I'll have to hear someone else pronounce it. I think it's Lahamu. So we're finding out that Tiamat had a child, and we're finding out that this may actually be the reason that she was partially so enraged in Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. But now that we know that Tiamat has a child, or a infant Titan, it adds a whole bunch to the lore. And along with that, we got Monsterverse Declassified. Now in Monsterverse Declassified, we are finding out that Tiamat's head is actually regenerating inside of a cryotube, and we also got a whole lot of expansion on the timeline of Tiamat. So some things that we found out is that at some point in time, Tiamat's species does appear and show up in the Monsterverse. There isn't a specific time for that, but there is a prehistoric time where they show in Monsterverse Declassified where you actually see that Tiamat had appeared in various different places. From there, we have a medieval time where Tiamat appears to various sailors as almost a, kind of the Loch Ness Monster myth, the sea serpent myth. And of course, in the Monsterverse, a lot of the various gods and the various mythological figures that popped up throughout history are actually Titans. And this is another case here where a lot of these myths of various sea serpents and the Loch Ness Monster and things are actually originated from Tiamat. I can't quite say the Loch Ness Monster, but at the very least, sea serpent myths. Now in World War II, we see that Tiamat attacks a German submarine. We see this in Monsterverse Declassified. And then Tiamat hibernates to Stone Mountain in Georgia. Now in 2019, we saw that Tiamat awoke with all the other Titans. Of course, we didn't see her in the film, but we did find out that she did awaken with all the other Titans thanks to Ghidorah. And then at some point in time, Tiamat lays eggs. Now at some point in this timeline, I'm assuming after 2019, is probably around when Lahamu was born. And then 2021, we see that Tiamat attacks Godzilla, but loses and retreats. We saw that in Godzilla Dominion. And that was kind of where we got our introduction to Tiamat, and people were really excited to see her appear in Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. But we saw that her design was a little different. It was a little different than what we ended up seeing in GXK, but nonetheless, it was very interesting. Now, in Monsterverse Declassified, we also find out that Tiamat fights a giant starfish and discovers a lair where she ends up evolving into the form that we see in Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. So there's actually an in-canon, in-universe explanation for her transformation into the Godzilla X Kong design. Now at some point, Lahamu hatched and got caught by Alan Jonah and the hyenas. There's not a specific timeline for that, but in 2024, somewhere in that area, Tiamat goes to New York, fights Kong, and destroys the hyena's underwater base and frees Lahamu. She returns into the ocean with her daughter, and then of course the events of Godzilla X Kong happen, which is apparently supposed to happen in 2027 in the Monsterverse. And this is when Godzilla fights Tiamat, and Lahamu is nowhere to be found. So we're assuming that Tiamat's child is still alive, and then after that, Tiamat's head is picked up by Monarch, put into a cryotube, or some kind of massive cryotube like that, and apparently her head is regenerating and is showing various signs of life. So they're building up this Titan in the Monsterverse, and we're going to see if they end up doing something with it, because they've had a few Titans here in the Monsterverse that they've kind of built up and they've wanted to do things with, but we haven't seen it, or at least it's kind of seemed like they wanted to, right? Like Behemoth is kind of one of these fan favorite Titans that people wanted to see more of, and they kind of introduced him in Godzilla King of the Monsters, and we have yet to ever see him pop up again. So whether or not they end up exploring Tiamat more in the Monsterverse and Tiamat becomes one of the more mainstay Titans that pops up, and I would love just for them to go all out, give us a Godzilla Destroy All Monsters movie somewhere down the line with all of the various Monsterverse Titans, and give them all their time to shine in some kind of massive battle to save the Earth. But comment down below, guys, let me know what you think about all of these new developments for Tiamat, because things are definitely expanding when it comes to her lore and her presence in the Monsterverse. I mean, it's good to know that she's not dead. It's good to know she's still around, and it's good to know she's not dead. It's good to know she's still around, and we're going to see what the future of the Monsterverse entails for her. So comment down below what you guys think, and for this video, that's all I got. So until the next one, guys, be safe and stay well. Bye-bye.